Hi, it's Cathy with inkingitupwithcathy.com, an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. And today I wanted to share with you how to make this card here. I'm going to call it a winged fold card, and it opens up just like this. So cute, huh? All right, for this card, I'm going to be using the Seaside Wishes stamp set, as well as the Unbounded Love for the little Just For You right here. I'll be using the So Swirly embossing folder, and I love these really big ones. They allow you to do two 4 by 5 1/4 at the same time, which is really nice. Then I have a bunch of dies that I'm using now. If you don't have all of these, you can substitute with some of the other ideas. Just come up with your own. The deckled circles, you're going to be using the third smallest circle, the one that's missing here. On the Unbounded Love dies, you're going to be using a circle that's just a little bit bigger than this one, okay? So it's the larger of the two circles. Something Fancy dies, you're going to be using the middle size of these frames here. On the Wanted to Say dies, you're going to be using, let me just show you on here, that's probably easier, the Happy Birthday and the matting for it, and also the Celebrate down here. And then finally, you're going to be using the Seaside Wishes dies, and you'll be using the two starfish. So here are all the dies you'll be using for this. The circle and the deckled circle, the Celebrate, Happy Birthday, the matting of the Happy Birthday, this frame, and these two starfish. For your papers, we're going to start with a 5.5 by 8.5 inch Pretty Peacock piece scored at 4 1/4. I've got a piece of, start with the front here, a piece of the Lost Lagoon, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to be doing some stamping on that, so I'm going to set it over here. This is the dry brushed metallic paper, which is on the online exclusives. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. You're going to need a piece of the Pretty Peacock that, let's see, it's gonna go like this. And this measures out at, let me find it here, 3 by 3 1/2. So it's 3 inches tall by 3 1/2. And you should be able to get this matting and the Celebrate both out of that. And then a piece of the Lost Lagoon that is going to measure 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. This I'm just used scrap on. And then you're going to want to put adhesive sheet on the back for that. Now you may want to consider putting adhesive sheet on this Pretty Peacock where the Celebrate is. It'll be a little easier than doing it with liquid glue, but you can do that as well. We've got, this is the dry brush DSP, and it's a 2 inch by 2 inch square cut with the deckled circle. A little piece of basic white, which is 1 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and it's cut with the circle. These two here are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and you're going to cut with that frame from the Something Fancy die, so you're going to be cutting 2. Now, if you don't have that one, something about that size will work. You can even just leave it at squares. Whatever you can find that'll work in about that size. I've got 2 pieces of the Lost Lagoon, and these measure 4 by 5 1/4 inches each. And they are embossed with the So Swirly embossing folder. I've got a piece of the Thoughtful Designs DSP that is 2 1/4 by 3 inches. I've got a piece of Pretty Peacock, and this measures 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then this piece here is 1 5/8 by 7 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these. Let's go ahead and do our stamping first. So I'm going to get that little circle out as well. And I have my Pretty Peacock ink. Now we're going to use this piece as a matting. And so in order to do that, on the front, this is going to layer over the top. So you don't want to stamp too close to the outside edge. This is a way to conserve the amount of ink paper that you use. So I'm going to stamp 1 in here, like that, and then 1 kind of down here, like that. 1 of the small ones here, and 1 of the small ones there. And those will be die cut out. While we're at it, let's go ahead and get those 2 little frames. Now these are going to be the pieces that are wings that come out to the side. So we're going to take, oh, and I forgot to grab, this is from the Sea Turtle stamp set, this little turtle. And so you're going to need him from that set. Although, you know, you can use starfish if you want, or the silver dollars or sand dollars from the Seaside Wishes if you want. So I'm going to put him, and I'm going to angle him in to the right like that. And then this one I'm going to angle the other direction. And you'll notice that I'm putting them out to the outside edges. Just like that. And then finally this one here is going to get the Just For You. Just like that. Okay. So that is all of our stamping. So I'm going to grab my 2 dies that I need to die cut these, and I'll be right back with you in a moment. Okay, I am back with my pieces die cut out. So we'll set our dies to the side. All right, let's work on the front of the card because that's the easier and quicker part. So I'm going to take my adhesive and put it around the outside here. Place that right on top here. I don't know about you, but I really like sometimes to just do a little 1/16 of an inch matting around the outside, just a little hint of the color, not a whole lot. So then this piece is going to glue down, there's my pin, to the front of your card. Like that. My happy and where's my birthday? There we go. Sometimes it sticks. It's hard to get out. And get our pieces out and lay down the birthday. I just start at one side end and kind of adjust it because it will stretch to make sure I'm laying it down all the way. Go ahead and take my bone folder to kind of wipe that to get a good and stuck. All right. Poke out these. There we go. Normally I don't have such trouble with this. There we go. Nope, that grabbed. Now if you have that happen, see how it grabbed the paper? Just go in with a little tiny bit of liquid glue in there and secure that back down, just like that. Try another spot here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. Put it on the back here. And I'm not quite sure about this area, so I'm going to go ahead and put mini dimensionals in there. Okay. How many dimensionals do you put on something like this? Sometimes I put a lot like this, and sometimes I would just put a couple, you know. I guess it depends on the day. So I'm going to put it down toward the bottom a little bit. And I'm going to get one of my two starfish. And here I'm going to use the outside edges of my mini dimensionals. And I need 5 of those. So I'm going to just cut 5 little tiny strips like that. And then I'll peel back and grab all of those at once. Found that's easier for me. And then I can place one here. Oh, that little guy got away. There we go. One there. One there. And then in the center, just to give it some support, I'll do 1 mini dimensional. All right, remove my backings. And put it up here. I like that curve. So let's get this guy to come in here like that. And that'll tuck in a little bit behind my H, just like that. And then my little one for the front, I'm going to use liquid glue. Without the hair. And tuck it into the behind the birthday here, like that. And then these are bloomin' pearls, and let's wait on that until the very end. So let's go to the inside of the card now. Keeping that is up at the top, we'll go ahead and attach the Just For You here. Get some things ready. These I'm going to attach to the inside of the card. Now they are going to have a mechanism that pulls against them, so I'm going to use quite a bit of liquid glue on them. Just like that. Okay, we'll wait on the Celebrate. Let's get these other things out of the way. Okay, now we need to work on our mechanism. So we've got these two pieces here. I'm going to bring in my trimmer. We'll start with this one here, and it's the one that is 2.5 inches by 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Let's move that up so you can see. So at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Okay, just like that. Now this one, we're going to score lengthwise at 1/2 inch. And 1 inch. So I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to score at 2.5, but I'm only going to do it on this top panel and this panel, not in the center. Okay, so 2.5 down at the bottom and 2.5 up at the top. I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing. 2.5 only on the top panel and the bottom panel. Okay. So now I've got this little piece that's 3/8 of an inch, and these are 1/2 inch. On the score line between the two 1/2 inch ones, I'm going to measure in from that score line a 1/2 inch in and a 1/2 inch in. And this is the only marking we're going to have to do. But we're going to measure in a 1/2 inch there and mark it. Don't worry about it being noticeable because it's going to be hidden. So, and right there, okay? So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put my trimmer in so I can see that mark here and that point. And between those two, I'm going to score. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm only doing it up to that point and score. Now you can, if it's easier for you, to just put that in here and use your bone folder and go like this and score it. So again, out here. Now, if that's difficult, you're actually going to be getting rid of these corners. So we could do that first by cutting here and then cutting all the way up this line. So if it's easier for you to see from that point to that corner, you can do it that way. So let's go ahead and trim these off. And again on the other end as well. You'll trim these. Okay, these pieces can just be tossed or used on a different project. So here we are again We've done the one here. And now this point has got to go out to that one. So again, I can line that up and just use my bone folder, or you can use your scoring tool, whichever way you want to. Whatever's easiest for you. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way because it's hard for me to see without putting my head in the camera. So we're going to do it this way. Okay. So that is done. So we'll start with this one. I've got my scores down here at the bottom. I'm going to take this piece and attach it up here in this panel. Okay, so that will go there like that. So let's start working on this mechanism. So what I want you to do is to take on this score line where the points are, and I want you to fold it back away from you like this. These, I want you to kind of fold in on each of them a little bit, just like that. And you're going to be wanting to tuck these away from you, okay, like that. And as you kind of squeeze together from this point here to this point, this will collapse down below. So I'm going to push on that a little bit so it drops down as I squeeze here, okay? And those arms are going to drop down just like that. Now don't worry if they're not exactly straight. You don't have to, they don't have to be perfectly straight, all right? Okay, so this piece now has a cut edge, and over on this side, you've got this 3/8. We're gonna take the one without the 3/8 and we're gonna put glue on that. And that's gonna come down. Okay, so here's the front of my card. That is gonna go down on the base. Centered, left to right, right up against that score. Okay, so I'm gonna push it right up against the score and then press it into that and fold. Okay, so it's right up on that score line, but you can still close the card. All right, we're gonna let that sit for a second. And while it's gluing, we're gonna do the same thing with this portion here. Do not do this tab area yet, okay? So that 3-inch tab area below the score line, you're not gonna put glue on that. You're just gonna put glue here. Somebody said that's a trapezoid. So that's what you want. And you're gonna close down on that as well. Squeeze those really good. Let that glue attach well. Give it a minute. What I want you to do while that's sitting is go ahead and hold it this way and bend that one down and then bend this one down. So you've kind of created that shape, okay? But we're gonna lay it flat against there, okay? Now lay it flat so you just see this. All right, so you're gonna now reach, and that little tab, you're gonna bring it down. So you can see here's our wings. We're gonna bring this tab down and we're gonna put glue on that tab. And you're gonna take the cut edge, not the one with the scores, but the cut edge, and that's gonna come up on there kind of like a little table. And again, you can close it down. Whoops, mine slid out of my hand. You could even turn it upside down in order to do it. It might be easier. Like that. Okay, so now we've got it upside down. Now, we're going to put some glue on this tab here, this one with the cut edge. Not this section, but only this section. And we're gonna glue it to this base portion. But we wanna make sure that these, as we're closing, do not come on the outside of it. We want them to tuck in before we lay that flat, and that gets glued down, okay? So I'm gonna take some liquid glue, and just in that 1/2 inch portion right there, making sure that that lays flat like that. I'm gonna make sure that my arms go in, and then I'm gonna set that, oh, I have an arm that just came out. And I'm gonna close that down on it. Just like that. I'm gonna give it a minute here. The more pressure you give and time, the better for that liquid glue to adhere. So now when we open it, you can see those arms open up, just like that, okay? So we'll decorate the inside, and then we'll put our little wings on. So our circle goes up here in the corner, like this, with our small starfish. Right up in there. Now to celebrate, because I didn't use, oh, I've got a piece hanging. There we go. Since I didn't use the double-sided adhesive, I'm just gonna put dots of liquid glue. And we'll take that and place it right here above kind of our table. Now I'll probably have to come in with my adhesive eraser because I hit a couple of spots, but I think that'll be okay. All right, so our starfish is going to go right here in the center. Just like that. Let's close this and press him down. He's not wanting to stick very well. Okay. And our final thing is our turtles. And this guy is going to go on the left. This guy's going to go on the right. So this outside point here is going to be right behind this top angle of the frame. Okay, so I'm going to put glue here. I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm just going to go, you know, about like that. And I'll slide that in, tuck it, and then this will come out to here, just like that. Okay. And then this one will go on this side. Again, I'll slide it in up underneath there and then bring it out to match up with this little point right here. So you can't see that point. And if you do a little bit, you can just snip it or you can just leave it. All right, and then the final thing will be some bloomin' pearls on the front. But let me tell you a little thing or two about this mechanism. So it is going to catch a little bit as they come in. Hear that? They're gonna snap a little bit because those two pieces are cardstock are meeting in the middle underneath here. Don't force it hard, but just kind of press it and they will snap away from each other and layer. So you don't need to worry about it. Just like that. And then I've got my bloomin' pearls. And I've got, let's see, one up here, a small little one over there, and then let's do a big one over here. Okay, so there is my winged fold card. I hope you like that. And check back often for more videos and have a wonderful week.